The Altroz has been on sale for 5 years now, and it's just now that it's getting a proper facelift. Was Tata Motors sleeping? Well, not really. Over the span of 5 years, Tata Motors kept giving the Altroz little doses, like launching the iTurbo in 2021, the dual clutch automatic came in 2022, the iCNG in 2023, and then the Racer in 2024. But a proper facelift was still overdue. For me, the Altroz was always a good-looking hatchback. It was a mix of mature yet funky design, and this new one takes things a step further. That weird wedge shape from the older Altroz is less prominent now, and this grille seems like the Altroz is a kid and forgot to wipe off its milk mustache. Really weird. Another weird part, why does it have black wheels? None of the trims get silver wheels. What is your guys' obsession with black wheels, or do you want to see some silver wheels too? Let us know in the comments. It's also the second Tata Motor cars to get a flush fitting door handle. Can you guess which was the first one? Another victim of the full light bar at the rear of the industry is the Altroz, and this trend should die down soon. Why not bring back the vertical tail lamps like the ones from the Indica? Basic design is still very Altroz, but certain elements have changed. Too many crisscross patterns happening, making it confusing. And it's also the latest Tata model to get this touch-based AC control panel, and a lot has already been said about it, so I'm not going to get into it. The seats are somewhat similar to what you see in the Punch EV, but Tata Motors claims the seats have better cushioning, and you also have extending under-thigh supports, which should help in long journeys. The back seat is also pretty good. Like that extended under-thigh support in the front seats, you also have it in the back seat, and really my legs are quite comfortable. The driving seat is set to my position. I'm almost 5'11" and I have enough knee room, and there's a decent amount of headroom too. The seats are a little hard, but they're not really uncomfortable. We first saw this 10.25-inch infotainment screen in the Altroz on the Racer last year, and it's like all the other screens that you see on other Tata Motors cars. It's quite responsive and smooth. Well, the Altroz also gets a 10.25-inch virtual cluster, but we don't have that in this particular car right now. So I'll show you an image on the screen right now. And it was kind of obvious that the Altroz facelift will get the new Tata Motors steering wheel. And you're right, it does. The Altroz was one of the first hatchbacks in India to get a 5-star rating from Global NCAP, and Tata is confident the new one will too, despite the stricter testing norms Global NCAP has now. Tata has improved the structure of the Altroz, and it now comes with 6 airbags as standard. So when are the new results expected? Soon, very soon. Engine options haven't changed either. It still has the same 1.2-litre petrol, a CNG, and a 1.5-litre diesel engine on offer. Still gets the 5-speed manual and 6-speed dual-clutch automatic, but has a new 5-speed AMT. More on that in a bit. But does it still drive the same? Well, this diesel is kind of the same as the previous one. It is still the only diesel hatchback available in the Indian market. So kudos to Tata Motors for keeping it alive. Keep it between 1500 to 3000 RPM to get the most out of it. But a lot of the diesel clatter still seeps into the cabin, and that's a problem that's been carried over from before into the facelift. The 5-speed manual continues to be a part of the Altroz, and gear shifts are still rough and notchy. Shifting from second to third is still tedious, and though light, the travel of the clutch is longer than some of its rivals. An improvement here could have been made. We've also driven the CNG, and again it's similar to what it was. Still feels strained when you're trying to overtake or climb an incline. It still starts in CNG mode, which is great. but it doesn't show distance to empty in the CNG mode and it's only there in the petrol? Why? Isn't that a simple software update? Was it difficult to give it to both modes? For the first time, the Altroz gets a 5-speed AMT, which Tata Motors claims is new, but it's only new to the Altroz. While it's been tuned slightly for the Altroz, nothing much has been changed. The diesel still doesn't have DEF, and with the new stricter norms coming in, it remains to be seen if this engine will make it to the next cycle. So does the facelifted Altroz drive differently? So as you know, it has Tata Motors' new steering wheel, but that could have had a better design. The buttons are placed too close to your hand and you can accidentally press them while turning. But what surprised me the most is how comfortable the ride is. It's supple, it handles bumps with ease, but there's a trade-off and that's the body roll that you have when you're trying to have some fun. The suspension has not been changed from before. The seats do a good job of ironing out some of those bumps too, and it has good lumbar support, and after driving for a long time, I am not feeling tired at all. It's a Tata and of course there are plenty of variants to choose from. In fact, it has 22 variants in true Tata fashion, but it's still not as many as some of the other Tatas. Looking at you, Nexon. Following the trend, the Altroz also gets a new variant naming system called Smart, Pure, Creative and Accomplished. Surprisingly, there's no AMT or DCT with the CNG or the diesel. Is it coming? It might if you guys demand it enough. Would you like to see a diesel or CNG automatic in the Altroz? Let us know in the comments. The Altroz still continues to face the Maruti Suzuki Baleno, Toyota Glanza and the Hyundai i20 in the premium hatchback segment. It's on par with the i20 in terms of features, but as I said, the Altroz is the only one to get a diesel engine. And the i20 is the only one with just a petrol engine. The Baleno's starting price is lower by 19,000 rupees than the Altroz. The Glanza's is the same and the i20 is 62,000 rupees more expensive. But the Altroz is the most expensive at the top end, 39,000 rupees more expensive than the top spec i20. The Baleno and Glanza's top end variants don't even cross the 10 lakh rupees mark. Should you get one? Sure. It's a good car, it drives well, it's the only diesel hatchback, but there are few downsides to it. There's no automatic for the CNG or diesel, and the lack of any performance in the CNG is a big issue. But it still has good potential to become successful if only Tata could figure out a few niggles in the car.